Olá, muito bom dia. Hoje é domingo, 26 de julho de 2026. No horário de Brasília, agora são 3 horas e 28 minutos. Estamos iniciando mais uma transmissão aqui no canal WillPTV. Hoje, então, transmissão tripulada, aí com o início então, do retorno da Soyuz MS-28. Vamos acompanhar agora, então, aí a saída da tripulação da Soyuz MS-28, composta pelos astronauta da NASA Chris Williams e da Roscosmos, né, Sergey Sergei Shevkov e Sergei Mikaev. Né, eles vão aí fazer então a saída do módulo Rassvet dentro de instantes, então a partir das 4h03 da manhã pelo horário de Brasília. Então vamos acompanhar então essa primeira parte da transmissão, com a saída deles da Estação Espacial Internacional, e logo depois a segunda parte logo mais tarde, então aí com o retorno e o pouso, né, da tripulação da Soyuz MS-28. Já estamos então com o início da transmissão em conjunto com a NASA e vamos acompanhar junto com ela também. Então não se esqueça de se inscrever no canal, de curtir, compartilhar, tá? E vamos então aí acompanhar juntos esta transmissão. Lembrando que aqui a gente acompanha tudo que acontece ao redor do mundo e também na Estação Espacial Internacional. Então vamos lá. Lembrando também de seguir o canal na rede social, no x.com/willptv. E quem puder também ajudar na contribuição aí, né? Através do like e também da sua inscrição. Já ultrapassamos a marca de 2.610 inscritos aqui no canal. Muito obrigado. E também você pode estar ajudando aqui no canal através do Pix, né? Aqui do canal, né? Lembrando que o Pix só funciona nos países da América Latina e no Brasil. Então aí começamos a transmissão em conjunto com a NASA. Vamos acompanhar. Lembrando que os astronautas da tripulação aí MS-28 ficou a bordo da Estação Espacial Internacional por 241 dias.
That spacecraft are 3 crew members of the Expedition 74 crew, NASA's Chris Williams, and Roscosmos cosmonauts Sergey Kud-Sverchkov and Sergei Mikaev. They are suited up and ready to undock from the space station in about 32 minutes from now to begin the ride home and the completion of their 241-day mission. Good morning from Mission Control Houston in the International Space Station Flight Control Room at NASA's Johnson Space Center. I'm Ken Appel with NASA Communications. Teams across the world are working in tandem and ready for the departure of Williams, Kud-Sverchkov, and Mikaev from the International Space Station at 2:03 a.m. Central, 3:03 a.m. Eastern. When the Soyuz lands on the steppe of Kazakhstan, it'll be 5:25 a.m. Central Time here in Houston this morning and 3:25 p.m. in the afternoon at the landing site there in Kazakhstan. All Soyuz systems are reported to be in great shape with vestibule leak checks complete. The crew is suited up in their Sokol launch and entry suits with leak checks nominal on those, and the Rassvet hooks are open. We are just under 30 minutes until the undock command is issued. Roscosmos search and recovery forces with NASA personnel support embedded are en route to the interim staging site of Zhezhezgan, which is 91 miles to the northwest of the landing site itself. Here's a look at the Russian flight control team in the Russian Mission Control Center in Koryov outside of Moscow. This team is serving as the primary control, working today's undocking, entry, and landing operations of the Soyuz vehicle.
фрейм-тайма нету, правильно? Мы поняли.
There is no frame time, right?
Есть, изменяется. Все есть, изменяется.
Okay, we
Отлично.
see the
And currently here in Houston in the International Space Station Flight Control Room is the Orbit 1 team of flight controllers being led by Flight Director Anthony Varia. His role today is to lead and work closely with his team of flight controllers on the ground as they work in tandem with that team of Russian flight controllers we just showed you half a world away. Mission Control Houston operates 24/7, 365 days a year with 3 shifts per day known as orbits. And again, this is the Orbit 1 team of flight controllers, and part of that team is today's Capcom, or capsule communicator. As you just saw, to Anthony Varia's right is NASA astronaut Anne McLean. She returned from the
Então, lembrando que estamos aí acompanhando, então, o procedimento de saída da tripulação da Soyuz MS-28 na Estação Espacial Internacional. Agora são 3 horas e 34 minutos do horário de Brasília. Lembrando, então, que a saída está prevista para acontecer às 4h03 da manhã pelo horário de Brasília. Temos aí, então, imagens da Soyuz MS-28 para vocês na tela, no centro da tela. A tripulação já se encontra a bordo da Soyuz, do módulo Soyuz. Lembrando que o pouso então será feito no deserto do Cazaquistão, perto do Cazaquistão, uma cidadezinha perto ali do Cazaquistão. Vamos acompanhar também a segunda parte então, da transmissão.
One another, beginning the spacecraft's journey home, carrying 3 crew members back to Earth after nearly 8 months. Williams, Kud-Sverchkov, and Mikaev climbed aboard their Soyuz spacecraft a few hours ago, where they donned their Sokol launch and entry suits and conducted leak checks on their side of the Soyuz docking interface. Let's take a look at the replay of the hatch closure that separated the departing trio of Williams, Kud-Sverchkov, and Mikaev from the rest of the station crew. About 3 hours ago, the departing trio said their farewells to the 7 remaining crew members aboard the International Space Station. Shortly after the final hugs and handshakes were exchanged, the 3 crew members floated inside of the Soyuz. The hatch then closed on the Rassvet side, followed by the closing of the Soyuz hatch at 10:45 p.m. Central, 11:45 p.m. Eastern. You see here on a screen the replay of a wipe down being done on the circumference of the hatchway from Rassvet to the Soyuz, making sure no foreign object debris was present before the hatch was closed. This is to provide a clean interface for the leak checks that occurred between about 2.5 to 3 hours ago. Those leak checks resulted in an airtight seal between the 2 vehicles. The vestibule is depressurized, setting the stage for the undocking of Soyuz from Rassvet, coming up here within minutes. An update on the Roscosmos search and recovery forces with NASA personnel support embedded. They have arrived to the interim staging site of Zhezkazgan, which is 91 miles to the northwest of the actual landing site itself. The command to begin the initiation of the opening of the hooks on the Soyuz side is now just 24 minutes away. A mission of 3,856 orbits, more than 102 million statute miles, NASA's Chris Williams and Roscosmos cosmonauts Sergey Kud-Sverchkov and Sergei Mikaev are wrapping up 241 days in space. The flight marked the first mission for NASA astronaut Chris Williams and Roscosmos cosmonaut Sergei Mikaev. And this was Sergey Kud-Sverchkov's second long-duration space flight, now wrapping up this 241-day mission, bringing his total accumulated time in space to 426 days. The crew, which launched and arrived at the space station on November 27th last year, has seen the arrival of 6 visiting vehicles and departure of 8. And between this trio, they supported 3 spacewalks during their nearly 8-month mission aboard the station. When Soyuz lands later today on the steppe of Kazakhstan, it'll be 5:25 a.m. Central here in Houston this morning and 3:25 p.m. in the afternoon at the landing site there in Kazakhstan. This view shows a pair of Soyuz vehicles, and on the right is MS-28, where Williams, Kud-Sverchkov, and Mikaev are located. And to the left, docked to the Prishal module on the Russian segment of the station, is the newly arrived Soyuz MS-29 spacecraft that brought NASA astronaut Anil Menon and Roscosmos cosmonauts Pyotr Dubrov and Anna Kikina to the space station last week on July 14th. Among all the technical and hardware preparation for today's departure, one important item on the checklist was handing over command. Yesterday, Sergey Kud-Sverchkov, who has served as commander of the orbiting laboratory since taking over from NASA astronaut Mike Fink in January, transferred command to NASA astronaut Jessica Meir. Here's a replay of that change of command ceremony.
Well, it's been a wonderful 8 months on board the International Space Station, and they were not easy. They were not way too difficult, but we definitely had a lot of experience that I'm sure is very important for further space exploration. So many cargo vehicles, dockings, payloads, signs, EVAs are behind, and I would deeply appreciate the help and participation of all cooperation, all partners around the world in Europe, Japan, United States, and Russia, and but I think the most important thing is that we been working as a family, as a team, and I want to thank the crew of Expedition 74, including Crew 11 and of course crewmates that are now here on board the station. And yeah, the successful mission couldn't be possible without support knowledge, dedication, and I want to thank everyone in this module for this mission. So with these words, I want to pass the commanding of the station to my colleague and really good person, Jessica Muir.
Thank you so much, Sergey, for your steadfast leadership during this part of Expedition 74. You have definitely set a tone that united everyone on board, not only as colleagues, but as friends on a shared adventure. Accepting this symbolic key is a profound honor, and it means even more to me that it is coming from you. Ogromное спасибо, мой друг. When we look down at Mother Earth, we see our shared home. But when we look around this station, we see the real engine behind that view, our team. We astronauts get to be up here every day, but every moment of each day, we are keenly aware that we are only here because thousands of people in control centers, back rooms, or at their desks around the globe are waking up every day to set the scene for us. To the rest of our exceptional team who is on the ground, including, of course, our beloved families, thank you for keeping us safe, keeping us moving, and keeping us connected. This mission is ours as much as this mission is yours as much as it is ours. To me, leadership in this extreme environment is about empowering this team. It is about ensuring every single person on this crew has the space, the tools, and the support to be at their absolute best. It means practicing what we call good expeditionary skills, taking care of the station, taking care of each other, and stepping up as both a leader and a dedicated follower when the situation demands it. Our primary goal, without question, is to execute our mission safely, efficiently, and successfully. But science and station maintenance are only part of the legacy that we leave behind. My personal, ultimate goal for all of us is that when our time up here is done and we feel the pull of gravity once again, we don't just return as successful colleagues, but as even better friends than we are today. Looking around at Sergey, and Chris.
Este momento aí, né, foi o momento da passagem de comando, então, da Estação Espacial Internacional. Então, aí foi o momento mais cedo, né? Aconteceu. Agora são 3 horas e 46 minutos, dentro de mais alguns instantes. E teremos então a saída da Soyuz MS-28. Vamos acompanhar.
Thank you so much. We will do our best to maintain the positive momentum that you imparted. For those of us remaining up here, let's look out for one another, keep laughing, and continue pushing the boundaries of human discovery. Thank you, and welcome to Expedition 75. This mission belongs to all of us.
This is Mission Control Houston, and if you're just joining us, we are covering the undocking of the Soyuz
Nós estamos ao
MS-28
vivo lá.
spacecraft carrying NASA astronaut Chris Williams and Roscosmos cosmonaut Sergey Kud-Sverchkov and Sergei Mikaev. We're about 14 minutes away until the undocking command is issued. All Soyuz systems are nominal, and all teams across the world have pulled go for undocking. Here's a look at the remaining 7 crew members in this Expedition 75 crew portrait. From left to right are NASA astronauts Jessica Mir and Neil Menon, Roscosmos cosmonauts Pyotr Dubrov, Andrei Fedyaev, and Anna Kikina. Next is Jack Hathaway of NASA, and then Sophie Adano of the European Space Agency there on the right. NASA astronaut Jessica Mir on the left took over command of the station from Sergey Kud-Sverchkov yesterday morning. The actual demarcation point for the end of Expedition 74 and the start of Expedition 75 will come at the time of physical separation between the 2 vehicles here just about 15 minutes from now. At the time of undocking, the Soyuz will begin to push away from the International Space Station by means of 2 separation burns. 3 minutes after physical separation, there will be a first of 2 separation burns. That's an 8-second burn of the Soyuz engines, followed a minute and 20 seconds later by a 15-second separation 2 burn that'll accelerate the Soyuz away from the International Space Station's Rassvet module. Then to preview what's ahead on the crew's journey home today, undocking and those separation burns are just the beginning. A bit later this morning, once Soyuz reaches a distance of 41 kilometers away from station, the spacecraft's deorbit burn will begin. This 4-minute and 42-second deorbit burn serves as a braking maneuver to slow Soyuz down, allowing it to drop out of orbit for entry into Earth's atmosphere.
Copy, working page 47.
After deorbit burn, pyrotechnics will separate the 3 sections of Soyuz, the crew, and of course strapped into their seats in the descent module with the heat shield in the direction of travel to repel temperatures that'll build up to about 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit. The parachute deployment sequence comes with 2 pilot parachutes, a drogue chute followed by the main chute that'll enable the Soyuz to slow down and descend to a landing with the soft landing engines firing just a moment before touchdown. Landing is scheduled to take place on the steppe of Kazakhstan, 91 miles southeast of the town of Zhezkazgan at 5:25 a.m. Central this morning, and that's 3:25 p.m. in the afternoon at the landing site.
Last M transmitter is on. Display plus TV command armed, command sent. We transition to the approach display, and there is a TV data on VECO. Okay, copy.
This view shows a pair of Soyuz vehicles, and on the right is MS-28, where Williams, Kud-Sverchkov, and Mikaev are located. And there on the left of the screen, docked to the Prishal module on the Russian segment of the station, is the newly arrived Soyuz MS-29 spacecraft that brought NASA astronaut Neil Menon and Roscosmos cosmonauts Pyotr Dubrov and Anna Kikina to the space station last week on July 14th. We are just about 2.5 minutes away from the issuance of the undocking command, and the International Space Station is flying 260 miles over India.
Estamos aí então no aguardo do início do procedimento então, da liberação da Soyuz MS-28. A liberação então pelo comando, né? a liberação então da Soyuz MS-28. São 3 horas e 53 minutos.
Go ahead on space to ground 1.
Можно выполнять
You can proceed
шаги
with
7
steps
и
7
8,
and 8.
включение режимов записи и контроля
recording
изображения.
activation and,
Ну, и тебе для информации,
Для момента
это todo ok.
переключение на прием
Soyuz.
ТВ информации с корабля будет в 54 минуты.
The switch to the video streaming from the vehicle will start at hour 54 minutes.
Да, верно.
Okay. Steps 7 and 8 to be default. Concur.
Copy.
As we prepare for the issuance of the undocking command just about 8 minutes from now, all preparations have gone very smoothly. Once the undocking command occurs, a minute and a half later, the physical separation will take place, which is scheduled at 2:03 a.m. Central, 3:03 a.m. Eastern. 3 minutes later, this will be the first of 2 separation burns, an 8-second burn of the Soyuz engines, followed a minute and 20 seconds later by a 15-second separation 2 burn that will accelerate the Soyuz away from the International Space Station's Rassvet module.
Lembrando então que a saída, a separação física com a Estação Espacial Internacional está prevista para acontecer às 4h03
Here's a good look at the Soyuz MS-28
da manhã,
spacecraft
no
on
horário
the
de
right, you
Brasília,
see on the screen.
dentro de instantes.
0919.
Então, estamos aguardando então aí.
At the top there is the instrumentation and propulsion module, the white section that also accommodates the solar arrays.
111213, eliminate.
At the very bottom of your screen, that section
Press
of the orbiting module.
confirmed.
And in the middle, that's where the crew is strapped in, the descent module, with Kud-Sverchkov in the center seat, Sergey Mikaev to his right.
You can turn on TV.
Sergey Mikaev to his left, and Chris Williams to his right.
Ground 1.
Все принято.
Steps 7 and 8
Approach.
are complete. Copy.
Есть вопросы за
Infrared Horizon Center inhibits. Confirmed?
режим разворот.
The mode is rotation. KDO parameter is nominal. Copy.
ПО-1 включаем фару С-17.
Floodlight is on.
Here's a view from the cross-haired external engineering camera on the Soyuz spacecraft.
Команда С-17.
In the lower left-hand corner, you'll see 2 values. The upper of the 2 shows the distance between Soyuz and the International Space Station.
At 0955.
Then at the bottom, that's the rate of closure, the relative speed Soyuz is departing the space station.
Recording mode on both screens is active. Copy.
Ожидаем расстыковки ребятам крестикам.
Waiting for the undock.
И желаем отличной посадки. Будем ждать их дома.
Sending our regards to the guys, and we'll be waiting for them on the ground.
Unintelligible.
Давай. Есть.
Okay, TV. Access light
We are just under 5 minutes away from the undocking command being issued.
D2. Combined power not illuminated. And backup. S16 cent. Not eliminated. Okay.
We are currently 4 minutes away from the issuance of the undocking command, and this command opens the hooks holding the Soyuz MS-28 spacecraft to the Rassvet module it's currently docked to. A minute and a half after that, the undocking command is issued and the hooks will open. Springs on both sides of the docking interface will push off against one another, beginning the spacecraft's journey home. All Soyuz systems reported to be in great shape, with vestibule leak checks complete. The crew is suited up in their Sokol launch and entry suits, with leak checks nominal on those, and the Rassvet hooks are open. We are just 3 minutes away until the undock command is issued.
Purchase Moscow. VHF. Inaudible.
Vamos aí na guarda, então, da liberação da Soyuz MS-28.
Copy loud and clear.
Não esqueça do like, hein? Tá esquecendo também.
What is on
Para
info
que as
1?
pessoas possam acompanhar também
This is
nossas
Mission Control
transmissões.
Houston, and if you're just joining us, we are covering the undocking of the Soyuz MS-28 spacecraft carrying NASA astronaut Chris Williams and Roscosmos cosmonauts Sergey Kud-Sverchkov and Sergei
4 horas
Mikaev.
agora pelo horário de Brasília, de acordo com a programação da
And
NASA,
we are
então
just
faltam
about
3
2 minutes
minutos.
until the undocking command is issued.
Before D7 command.
It will take 90 seconds for the Soyuz hooks to open and physical separation to occur. We are a minute and a half until the undocking command is issued. All station systems are go for undocking, and the Russian flight control team is receiving data from the Soyuz vehicle.
21. 20 seconds. 10.
2 minutos aí para a separação física
5.
da estação.
3, 2, 1.
1 minute until undocking command on time.
Command 10:00. I confirm D7 is illuminated for the internal transfer system SSVP. The probe for SM is retracted, Get 17 executed, mechanical connection, and SSVP S8 is not illuminated.
We are under 30 seconds away from the issuance of the undocking command.
Get 17. Please make sure that you issue the command at the time set. Copy. We're standing by for 10 seconds, 10 seconds till we issue the command. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sending the command to open.
The command has been issued, and the Soyuz hooks are now driving open.
Illuminated, and
all systems on Soyuz and the International Space Station are a-go as the process has begun for physical separation that'll be occurring in just about a moment from now.
illuminated.
Hooks are continuing to drive and will stand by for physical separation.
capture is no longer illuminated. 10:02:35.
E aí, portanto, separação confirmada às 4h03 da manhã,
Undocking confirmed at 2:00.
pelo horário de Brasília na Estação Espacial Internacional. O módulo da Soyuz deixa nesse momento o módulo Rassvet
Soyuz MS-28's departure, we mark the close of
e
Expedition 74
depois de 241 dias a bordo da estação.
Back over to Soyuz, Williams, Kud-Sverchkov, and Mikaev are on their first leg of their trip back home.
System. Copy. And we do not see anything off nominal.
We are seconds away from the first separation burn that'll begin to accelerate the opening rate for the Soyuz from the station.
0700.
One for filter on PEV transfer to.
Once again, physical separation occurred at 2:03 a.m. Central, 3:03 a.m. Eastern.
Доброе утро, тебя слышит Сергей Зенкин на связи. Даем УЗ на перевод КВД МИМ-1 ПК в положение закрыто. Сообщи, когда это сделаешь.
Please report when PEV of MRM to close position. In work.
Here's a view from the cross-haired external engineering camera on the Soyuz spacecraft looking at the International Space Station. We are just under 1 minute away from that first separation burn.
Para quem está acompanhando a nossa transmissão, quem está chegando agora, às 4h03 da manhã, foi confirmado, então, com sucesso, a liberação física aí da Soyuz MS-28, da Estação Espacial Internacional, e já estamos, então, iniciando o procedimento de afastamento da estação. Logo mais, então, a partir das 6h10 da manhã, iniciaremos, então, aí
for departure. Activation confirmed.
Cobertura, então, aí do retorno e o pouso, então, da Soyuz MS-28.
That first 8-second burn is nominal and complete.
Copy.
And the first of the two separation burns was completed nominally. The Soyuz is now in its departure orientation. The roll maneuver is in progress.
The maneuver is complete.
Go ahead.
Combined GSO confirmed.
I put MRM-1 Soyuz PEV valve to closed position. Copy. Thank you for the report.
Soyuz is ready for second separation burn.
Depot thrust is active.
The second separation burn of 15 seconds in duration is currently underway.
Есть импульс отработан штатный, есть инструкция конец временного цикла.
The second separation burn completed in good, and with that, Soyuz begins its departure away from the space station.
Sending the command.
V-18 выдано в 10.
10:07:50 is the time when V-17 command has been sent. Now continue to page 50. Copy.
Контролируем на КСП.
Monitor on the KSP left display. Bdus 1-1 is not illuminated, 1-2 not illuminated. Repress of the KDU thrusters is not illuminated. Dynamic mode inhibit confirmed. We are prepping A11 command. Command is ready. Send the command. Command sent. Depot K1 thruster selection confirmed.
This is Mission Control Houston. If you're just now joining us, we're covering the undocking of the Soyuz MS-28 spacecraft carrying NASA astronaut Chris Williams and Roscosmos cosmonauts Sergey Kud-Sverchkov and Sergei Mikaev. Undocking occurred at 2:03 a.m. Central, 3:03 a.m. Eastern.
Dmitry 8 command has been prepped. D8 command sent. Internal transfer system SSVP is off. D11 is also sent. Probe retracted. We are ready to send the command for the headlight. S18 command has been sent. The headlight is off. Floodlight is off.
You're hearing instructions through the interpreter being relayed to Sergey Kud-Sverchkov, the Soyuz commander in the center seat of the Soyuz descent module, and to his left is Sergei Mikaev and Chris Williams on his right.
Control at Orient. And we sent the command and sent 10:20. So we have rotational hand control at Orient.
These are post-docking procedures to place the Soyuz in position for its departure from station to its ultimate distance of 41 kilometers for the deorbit burn that's scheduled 2 hours and about 20 minutes from now.
Translational hand controller unintelligible.
Контролируем параметры КДУ. Давление шар-баллона первого 170, второго 170, топливо 496.
496.
Принято. Готов отключить.
And I am ready to activate, to deactivate the video. Copy. Use the display and deactivate the TV video.
Подготовлена команда «Откл ТВ», формата ТВ.
TV off command is prepped.
Выдана команда отключения
and sent.
This is Mission Control Houston, and once again, the Soyuz MS-28 spacecraft with NASA's Chris Williams and Roscosmos cosmonauts Sergey Kud-Sverchkov and Sergei Mikaev on board.
Now continue working for.
They undocked from the orbiting laboratory at 2:03 a.m. Central, 3:03 a.m. Eastern, as the Soyuz and the International Space Station passed 260 miles over Magnolia.
We'll talk to you then. Well, we'll talk to you at 11:20, and we are going to page 54 at 11:20.
For Anna on
Copy.
close-out ops. Go ahead.
And we'll have all the settings
We completed
in place already.
TV
Anton,
downlink. You can proceed with steps 11.
tell me,
Thank you.
What did we decide to do with the com? We decided to have
I understood that. I can proceed with steps 11
running
and 12. Post completion
com
of step 10.
via
That's
EKTS.
correct.
It will have to be after the retrograde burn. It's between 12:40 and 12:55. That's when we're going to have our EKTS compass. Or we'll talk to you on the EKTS. So we'll stand by for you to come back at 11:20. 11:20.
МКФ, ответьте к речетам в канале УКВ. МКФ на связи. Как у вас там дела? Петр, желаю вам хорошего полета, экспедиции успешной. Ну и, конечно, будем следить за вами и ждать возвращения вовремя. Спасибо, кречеты, вам тоже хорошей дороги домой. Мягкой, сколько это возможно, посадки. Ну и быстрой реабилитации, конечно.
Ребята, давайте хорошего полета домой.
До связи.
Хорошей посадки.
Agora então são 6 horas e 15, 4 horas e 15 minutos pelo horário de Brasília. Lembrando então que a separação aconteceu aí às 4h03 da manhã, no horário de Brasília, Estação Espacial Internacional. E aí logo mais, então, a partir das 6h10 da manhã, vamos aí continuar então a transmissão para acompanharmos a reentrada e o pouso da Soyuz MS-28.
This is Mission Control Houston, and all of the hatch closure, pre-undocking preparations, and undocking went by the book. No issues are in work, and the Soyuz is now moving away from the station to its ultimate distance of 41 kilometers away from station to set up for the deorbit burn that is scheduled 2 hours and 16 minutes from now. The deorbit burn is scheduled at 4:31 a.m. Central Time. It'll be 4 minutes and 42 seconds. This retrograde braking maneuver to slow the Soyuz down by 128 meters per second will allow it to drop out of orbit for descent back to Earth. In Kazakhstan, the members of the search and recovery team have arrived to the interim staging site, which is 91 miles to the northwest of the landing site itself.
Eu quero aqui agradecer pela audiência, pelos likes, pelas inscrições. Dentro de instantes, então, aí vamos continuar aí a transmissão. Então, das 6h10 da manhã. Muito obrigado a todos. Daqui a pouco estaremos, então, encerrando esta primeira parte do retorno da Soyuz MS-28. Agora são 4 horas e 18 minutos.
This is Mission Control Houston. The Soyuz MS-28 spacecraft will soon pass out of visual range of the external cameras you see here on the International Space Station. And as we just saw, the entry process begins with the undocking of Soyuz. That occurred a short time ago at 2:03 a.m. Central, 3:03 a.m. Eastern. The Soyuz is backing away to a distance of about 41 kilometers away from space station for its deorbit burn. The deorbit burn is a 4-minute, 42-second retrograde braking maneuver to slow the Soyuz down and allow it to drop out of Earth's orbit. Pyrotechnics will then separate the 3 sections of the Soyuz. Once the separation of the 3 sections of the Soyuz, the first major activity after that will be the command to open the chutes. First the drogue chutes, then the main. And then just a few seconds before touchdown, the soft landing thrusters will fire just 1 to 2 seconds above the ground. That is the final braking maneuver to soften the landing for the crew on board, and the Soyuz will be home. Landing is scheduled for 5:25 a.m. Central Time, which is 3:25 p.m. at the landing site in Kazakhstan. That landing site is about 91 miles to the southeast of the town of Zhezkazgan, where the Rosaviatsa search and recovery forces have arrived, and in a few hours will head to the airfield there to board Russian Mi-8 helicopters and make their way down to the landing site for the recovery of the crew. With Soyuz safely on its way from station for the final leg of the journey home, we'll sign off briefly while Soyuz continues moving away from station to its point of the deorbit burn, 41 kilometers away. We'll be back with that deorbit burn coverage, along with entry and landing of the Soyuz MS-28 beginning at 4:15 a.m. Central, 5:15 a.m. Eastern. That coverage will continue through the time the crew has landed, extracted from the Soyuz, and brought into the nearby medical tent. We'll be back with you in less than 2 hours from now for all of that activity, and in the meantime, Soyuz MS-28 is safely on the way to the point of deorbit burn to bring home Chris Williams, Sergey Kud-Sverchkov, and Sergei Mikaev. This is Mission Control Houston.